All right, Benny. Thank you very much, David. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us here for the first time. My name is Olumayowa Oyaleke. I am a data professional specialized in utilizing data and extracting valuable insights through both descriptive analytical techniques and predictive analytical techniques. And I'm also a very strong AI advocate. I currently work as a senior AI business analyst at Sparkle MFB, and here with me, speaking with me, is Ifeanyi Iheagwara, my partner in crime, a well-seasoned data analyst working at Moniepoint, and a very, very solid Power BI, Power Platform developer, as well as a technical writer. So move on to the next slide, Benny. So we had an issue. There was a time I and Benny were working at the same place. We had an issue. We usually track customer satisfaction score, and we noticed a continuous decline month on month for 3 months in a row. We also got complaints from customer service team saying they were getting so much requests from customers' mails and they couldn't handle them as much, consequently leaving out some customers' mails, not attending to some requests, inquiries, and so on. And this was costing the business a whole lot because we started to have cases of customers coming to our physical office and even making threats to sanction us due to unattended complaints and requests, and also late replies. All these were happening because we started to grow in our customer base. Well, I mean, that's a good thing, but for us, in terms of handling, we didn't handle it great. So, anyways, we had to think of a robust solution that would help us solve this problem and make our customers happy. So, and this solution, it had to do with building a full-fledged automated email processing and scoring system that extracts key details from incoming emails, classifies the emails using AI, scores the emails based on their priority, urgency, and request types, triggers alerts for special emails, and reply to basic inquiries. Next slide, please. And how does it work? High level, we have trigger systems, extraction and validation system, the AI responder, the classification sentiment analysis using AI, scoring and prioritization, logging and reporting. The trigger triggers a flow that starts when an email arrives in any of the designated mailboxes, whether it was the complaints mailboxes, the inquiry mailboxes, then moves on to the extraction and validation, extracts the sender, subjects, all these key variables that we're going to be needing. Then an AI responder. Sorry, the classification comes first. So the classification email content is sent to our Azure AI service, then to determine the request type. Then the AI responder comes next. Then it generates appropriate responses based on the email classifications, which are mostly inquiries. Then goes through the scoring and prioritization algorithm, generates a scoring system based off the classification and urgency score from the sentiment analysis, produces a final email priority. Then we also log this appropriately and also run some triggers and flows through Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, so Mayowa was giving you the high level of how it works. So the very first step was the validation and extraction. So for this, we use Microsoft database. So we are using like so whenever emails comes in from organization, and whenever a row comes into that table, the email message table, or we extract some key stuff from the emails. So for example, like the context, the client's name, the dates the email came in, the message ID, the activity IDs, and all of that. And we were sure that those are composed and the rest. And we also filter out emails that I respond because we're trying to give the very first email that the customer is coming a particular score so that we can give it a form of priority. So once we do the extraction and everything, I want to do the validation. So before the validation, for validation, we mean that we are taking off emails that are forwarded image. So first of all, they are actually like company-wide messages that are sent, and we want to take that off. So we'll take out the company-wide message. We take out if a customer sends an email and the body is also there, but like the body is empty basically. If the message is coming from maybe like the marketing team or area email, so we also filter out those as well, and forwarded emails and what they are. Then the next thing we do is the business classification and the sentiment model. So this part, we're going to use LLM to classify the emails into different classes. So for this, basically, so it's going to read the email body, read the email subject, they classify them into 20 already service categories. So for example, what kind of email was it? Was it an email asking they want to buy something? Was it an email asking for an inquiry? Was it an email asking for maybe they want to transfer their unit or asking us maybe what's the location to a branch or something like that? So basically pick a model. We are using serverless Azure function, and we make sure that it defines or classify these image forms. Then again, when it comes to the sentiment, because we're trying to give the email a form priority score, basically what we're going to do is based on the tone of the email, we'll have to know if maybe, for example, is this something that needs to be replied as soon as possible, or is it something that can be waiting a bit of 12 hours as well. So that's where the sentiment AI comes in. So yeah, we're just trying to see the sentiments of the email. Was it a 10? It's like a very high priority email. So for example, email that person is complaining is something negative, or an email that has to do with something more sensitive, like for example, a delayed transaction, a failed transaction. Or low is something that maybe it's asking for a branch information. So we don't need to like reply it right now. We could reply like in an hour later. And an email that is more of a complaint, and this could she gets a higher priority. So I have to actually use escalations and because of using SLAs. So we do that. Then yeah, as well again, we also using the element again. We also try to do a form of reply for emails that, like for example, that are those simple stuff like an inquiry. So for this, instead of the customer rep replying to emails that all these very simple or non-sensitive thing, we have a model that basically does gives it a reply and make sure that it follows a particular format or it replies in the particular way that we want it to do that. So once we have that, so all of this is built in Azure. Once we have that, we move that, we use that model in Power Automate. So the same thing again, when we're getting the flow, we get all of this. We get sure that it's not for the message, and then this is where we use the different models. So we use the HTTP request so that it gets the sender. So whenever someone comes from database, it gets the sender, gets the output. It uses that model and it gives us reply. So for example, based on this, it gives us like the classification, it gives us the score, the priority score. And when it comes to the login, just for audit purposes, it's being logged on the DB for in case we want to check or want to verify that model is working as we expect it to work. So once we get all of those scores, we came up with a form of priority score, a form of classification score. So for the moment, we have like our classification score. We have a score for the kind of email the person sent, and we'll have a score again that has to do like the form of understanding. So all of this will have a form of priority, which maybe we did this plus divided by 3, and we give that email about the score. Then once that is gotten, it's now pushed back to the database table and in a new column. And then new column based on that is the CSV then just have to rank that column to give it a particular scoring, and you can rank out release so the emails that and it's all based on our rank means these are emails that based on the models or based on all of these different parameters that should be answered as fast as possible, basically. So once we get that, you can also go take this extra further. Like for example, maybe emails that needs a form of follow-up. And this can also become more like active cards, which just sends it to Microsoft Team chat as well. Then Mayowa.
So then, I mean, after all the technical jargons, the main issue was looking into the impact to the business. After we finished the solution, what happened to the business? So different things happened to the business. We started to respond to 10% of customers. We started to respond to 10% of incoming customer emails, which reduced the stress on the customer service team. Then we're able to improve our first response times from email channels. Consequently, then by 42%. TAT dropped tremendously. And finally, customer satisfaction score that we were struggling with, that was on a continuous landslide decline for 3 months, increased in the first month by 30%. This was great impact to the business. So thank you very much, everyone. And this is how to build email assistants using artificial intelligence power apps. Thank you.